Okay, so here's the deal. Allergies and intolerances like nuts and gluten and dairy and eggs are really well known. But a lot of people are very unaware that there are people out there who have onion and garlic intolerances. Yes, I love garlic, but garlic doesn't love me. Onions aren't so fond of me either, but the feeling's mutual. So, we have to find other ways to flavor our food. See these? These are herbs and spices. There are many to choose from. You can even combine some of them. And I use a lot of them. These are major cooking buddies of mine, and so is dill. And some people just have no concept how to give anything flavor without onions or garlic. It seems like the majority of cooks in multiple countries are extremely allium dependent. And this pattern needs to be broken because there are people out there who, just like those who have nasty allergies and intolerances to eggs and gluten and dairy, used to have a hard time finding food, but now they can finally find food because there are people who are actually aware and make a few things that don't have those in them. Well, most people are still rather ignorant about our allium intolerance thing. Alliums are onions and garlic, for those who are not aware of the term. And there are many kinds of onions. It comes in many forms, even down to powder form. And for those who are labeling food, onions and garlic are not spices. They are vegetables. Even if they are powdered vegetables, not powdered spices. And so, yeah, don't hide them in things that way. We need to know, otherwise the experience comes back to haunt us later and not in a good way. Different people with the onion and garlic allergies and intolerances experience the suffering in different ways, but it is a reality and we don't appreciate it. So it would be nice to see more people learning how to make things with no onion and no garlic. And that, so that those of us who go into restaurants needing to find food, because sometimes you're traveling and there's just, you can't just go home and make something. And we go in and there's nothing on the menu, or almost nothing on the menu, that you can get without onions or garlic. So, here's a challenge. I want to see how many people can come up with good recipes for regular meals, not just desserts, that have no onion and no garlic in them, but still taste good and have flavor. Now, I'm not offering some fancy, expensive prize for it because that's just not in my budget. But what I can expect you might find is a lot of people who have onion and garlic intolerances, or even those who hate one or the other of them, because there are people out there who hate onions. Maybe even some who hate garlic. I haven't met so many of the latter, but I've met some who definitely hate onions. And those people would be extremely grateful if people would come up with more good food made without onions and garlic and manage to put the recipes out there, or even start restaurants or food companies that produce things that are not full of onions and garlic. And don't bother putting any of that garbage GMO stuff and fake sweetener and other things like that, because we don't want those either. We don't want MSG. We want real food, real meals, just without onion and garlic. That would be great. So here's a challenge. How good of a recipe can you produce and share that happens to have no onion, no garlic, but still really good and really tasty? And so I would love to see what you have to say. I'm going to make a Facebook group called the Allium Free Challenge, Recipe Challenge, and see who decides to join and who produces good recipes to go into that challenge. And guess we'll just have to see what comes of that. Bye.